Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem and here is the news. For 478 days, Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. A delegation of African leaders visited Ukraine yesterday, reports Ukrainska Pravda. Presidents of South Africa and Senegal, who led the delegation, as well as leaders of Zambia, Comoros, the Prime Minister of Egypt and Foreign Minister of Uganda, visited Kyiv and liberated city of Bucha in the Kyiv region, met President Volodymyr Zelensky. The delegation arrived with a suggestion to start peace negotiations between Ukraine and Russia. According to Reuters, they want to suggest withdrawal of Russian troops, withdrawal of tactical nuclear weapons from Belarus, the suspension of the International Criminal Court warrant for Putin's arrest, and the easing of anti-Russian sanctions. After Kyiv, they will go to St. Petersburg to meet Vladimir Putin. During their visit to Ukraine, Russia conducted a missile strike targeting Kyiv. According to the local authorities, air defense managed to down 12 missiles over Ukraine's capital. At least 6 people were wounded. During the attack, the delegation was forced to hide in a bomb shelter. Head of the EU delegation to Kyiv, Artem&Marharyta, said that African leaders are feeling some realities of Russia's war of aggression. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said that the attack he experienced in Kyiv makes their calls for the escalation of the situation more important, and he would continue his dialogue with the Russian dictator. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky emphasized that peace negotiations with Russia are possible only after the complete withdrawal of Russian troops from occupied territories. Russian President Vladimir Putin gave a speech at the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, in which he said that his Jewish friends call President Volodymyr Zelensky a disgrace to the Jewish people, reports Radio Liberty. The Jewish Confederation of Ukraine responded, saying that Volodymyr Zelensky is a leader who set an example of courage to his people and the whole world. It also rejected Putin's claims that Ukrainians are neo-Nazis. Deputy Minister of Defense Hanna Maliar informed that Ukrainian forces are achieving tactical successes and advancing up to 2 kilometers in all directions, reports Fakty. On the fronts where Ukrainian troops are on the defensive, no positions have been lost and the enemy has not been able to advance. Maliar said that the overall intensity of combat actions on the Bakhmut front has slightly decreased. Deputy Defense Minister Volodymyr Gavrilov said that Ukraine seizes the initiative in the war and Russia defends itself, but long-range, high-precision weapons with a range of up to 200 kilometers are needed for victory, reports Espresso. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Germany plans to urgently provide Ukraine with 64 more guided missiles for the Patriot air defense systems, reports Ukrinform. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said that it is important to sustainably support the successful efforts of the Ukrainian armed forces to ensure air defense, especially now in this particular phase of the war. Belgium approved a new military assistance package for Ukraine, reports European Pravda. Belgium will purchase and hand over armored vehicles as soon as the Belgian defense industry companies bring them to proper condition. The vehicles in question are tracked armored vehicles of the M113 type, which were withdrawn from service of the Belgian army 10 years ago. The number of armored vehicles is not specified. Last week, Belgium announced its intention to transfer to Ukraine 32.4 million euros worth of artillery projectiles. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We are a commercial initiative of just 2 people and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.